I would like to thank the rest of our SDP team, led by Dr. Chi Soon Duan, for the hard work and constant support in this campaign. The team has worked together very hard these few weeks, and in fact for years, to try and bring greater transparency and accountability into government. I'm honored to stand here before you as part of the SDP team because we think the time has come to do what is right. Many of you have come from a long working day. You could have been having dinner or resting at home, yet you chose to be here. As a working mother of 3, I understand why you have made this choice. The future of our nation means enough for you to be here tonight, to think about what is at stake in these elections. On Saturday, you will go to the polls. Never before since independence has there been a more important election in our nation's history. Many of us were born after independence and have known no other government than the PAP. This may be the first time in your life that you have thought of choosing another party as your representatives in Parliament. When we go to the polls, we will be asking ourselves several questions, including the following. What is this election about? What am I voting for? If we vote opposition into Parliament, will we risk Singapore's stability and future? No! Will the government know who I voted for and punish me? No! I would like to offer you some answers to these questions. Before I do that, I want to tell you that when we go to the polls on Saturday, all of us should be proud of the chance to help make Singapore's history. I will tackle the last question first. Your vote is secret. There is much information on the internet explaining what happens to your vote on polling day. Please take the time to find out. I believe you will be able to see for yourself that your vote is absolutely secret. All those helping with the vote counting have to take an oath of secrecy. The consequences of breaching that oath are very serious indeed. Please, let me ask this favor of you. Please share this with your friends. Tweet it, Facebook it, text your friends. Your vote is secret. Now, for the first question. What is this general election about? What am I voting for? My friends, I believe this general election is about our coming of age as a nation, as a people. It has been said by the ruling party many times before that Singaporeans are not mature enough to handle a parliamentary democracy or to choose alternative parties. But from the discussion and debate that has taken place in the past few weeks, I believe it is now fair to say that each of us as individuals and all of us together in this beloved nation that we call home have finally come of age. These elections are also about the life we want for ourselves and our children. Think about the last 5 years and ask yourself if life has gotten better for you. Then ask yourself if you want more of the same thing for the next 5 years or 10 years. Ask yourself, how can I choose a better life for myself, my family, my children, my parents, and my fellow Singaporeans? at this election, we finally have a chance to choose something better. My colleagues and I have presented over several rallies our vision for a better, happier and kinder Singapore. We believe our vision will lead to a more resilient and ultimately more secure society for all Singaporeans. If you missed our earlier rallies, please take the time to watch the videos of our earlier speeches. You can find them at yoursdp.org. For half a century, we have come to trust the decisions of the ruling party. By its own admission, however, it has made mistakes. I believe we can all see that it has taken the pressure of these elections for the ruling party to admit its mistakes at this late stage. So far, none of these mistakes in itself has been fatal. But as we all know, black swan events can happen. These are events which are very unexpected, but where a single wrong decision leads to disastrous consequences. The global financial crisis gave us many examples of high risk gone horribly wrong, where entire fortunes and even national finances, such as Iceland, were destroyed by corporate governance failures or a lack of diversification. My friends, with single-party rule, our nation, Singapore, is now running this risk at a national level. The ruling party is a very big organization. Like the Titanic, it is not easy for it to admit mistakes, turn around, and avoid obstacles. And we know what happened to the Titanic when it could not turn around from the iceberg. No doubt, there are good men in the ruling party. But within the system, there is nothing they can do. They have to vote as the party wishes, even if they personally do not agree. Some of them have even been driven to tears from the frustration of voting for something they did not agree with. We live in a volatile, globalized world. To survive and indeed to prosper, we need to adapt quickly to changes in the world around us. In order to do this, we need a parliament where there are sufficient checks and balances. As our government likes to remind us, competition is good for Singaporeans and keeps us working harder and smarter. We need the healthy competition of ideas in Parliament so that the best ideas may win for the sake of our nation. Our ruling party tells us they have no groupthink. However, when one apologizes, they all apologize together. And how do we explain the last MP for Joo Chiat who said, if they ask me to retire, I retire. If they ask me to stay, I stay. And if they ask me to go elsewhere to contest, I go. So we all know what comes next. If they ask me to jump, I jump! Yes, the PAB MPs will say, how high? Fellow citizens, groupthink puts our nation at risk. Let our society not go the way of the Titanic, because our leaders cannot see that the seascape has changed, and by doing so lead us accidentally into an iceberg. Now I turn to the question of whether or not voting opposition into Parliament will destabilize our nation. We have no intention of rocking the boat, of shaking our foundations. We have a good foundation to build on. No Singaporean wants to disrupt our society. We are all here because we see the flaws in our system